Los Angeles in 1969 shimmered with the promise of a golden age. The city was a beacon of hope, a place where dreams were spun from sunshine and ambition. The counterculture movement bloomed, preaching peace, love, and a rejection of traditional values. Yet, beneath the surface of free love and psychedelic exploration, a darkness lurked. It festered in the shadows, waiting for the moment to explode into the light. This duality of light and shadow found its embodiment in one Charles Manson. A man of contradictions, he was a charismatic drifter who sought fame as a musician. He craved attention and adoration, weaving a tapestry of twisted philosophies and pseudo-religious teachings. He attracted lost souls, runaways, and disillusioned youth, drawn to his magnetic personality and promises of belonging. They called themselves the Family. They sought refuge in the sprawling Californian landscape, forming communes like the Spahn Ranch. What began as a seemingly harmless group of hippies, united by music and a shared desire for acceptance, would soon morph into something far more sinister. Under Manson's growing influence, their days were filled with drug-fueled orgies, petty crimes, and a growing sense of paranoia that fed Manson's delusions of an apocalyptic race war. Born into a life of poverty and neglect, Charles Manson was a product of a broken system. His early years were marked by instability and a lack of nurturing, which set the stage for his troubled future. He spent his formative years shuffled between institutions and reform schools, his spirit hardening with each betrayal and disappointment. These experiences only deepened his sense of alienation and resentment towards society. He developed a talent for manipulation, using his charisma to mask a deep-seated rage and hunger for power. Manson's ability to charm and control those around him became his most dangerous weapon.
By the time I arrived in San Francisco in the mid-1960s, I was already a skilled con artist and manipulator. The city's vibrant counterculture scene provided the perfect backdrop for my schemes. I gravitated towards the burgeoning hippie movement, recognizing in its idealism and rejection of authority a fertile ground for my own twisted gospel. The movement's emphasis on peace and love was easy to exploit for my own ends. I preached a bizarre mix of peace, love, and impending apocalyptic violence, captivating my followers with my intensity and pronouncements of hidden truths. My message was a chaotic blend that resonated with those searching for meaning.
Manson's family was a motley crew of lost souls seeking belonging and purpose. They were individuals who felt disconnected from mainstream society and were looking for a place to fit in. They came from all walks of life, drawn to Manson's magnetic personality and promises of love and acceptance. His ability to make each person feel uniquely understood and valued was key to his influence. There was Susan Atkins, a troubled runaway seeking a father figure. She found in Manson the guidance and attention she desperately craved. Patricia Krenwinkel, a shy and insecure young woman craving approval. Manson's acceptance gave her a sense of worth she had never known. And Leslie Van Houten, a former homecoming queen who had lost her way. She was searching for a new identity and found it within the family. These were just a few of the young people who fell under Manson's spell, surrendering their will and morality to his twisted vision. They became instruments of his dark ambitions, willing to do anything to please him. The events of August 8, 1969, would forever etch themselves into the annals of American crime. It was a night that would shatter the peace of a quiet neighborhood and send shockwaves through the nation. On that warm summer night, Manson dispatched 4 of his most devoted followers, Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian, to 10050 Cielo Drive. These individuals, under Manson's twisted influence, were prepared to carry out his dark and violent vision. The sprawling mansion, nestled in the Hollywood Hills, belonged to film director Roman Polanski and his pregnant wife, actress Sharon Tate. It was a place of beauty and creativity, now marked for unimaginable horror.
I was a rising starlet known for my radiant beauty and gentle spirit, representing everything that Manson despised about Hollywood and the establishment. My life was a symbol of success and glamour, a stark contrast to the darkness that Manson harbored. I was young, successful, and living a life of privilege that Manson believed was inherently corrupt. To him, my existence was a representation of everything wrong with society.
Her murder, along with the brutal slayings of 4 others present at the house that night, celebrity hairstylist Jay Sebring, coffee heiress Abigail Folger, writer Wojciech Frykowski, and Stephen Parent, a friend of the property's caretaker, was meant to be a shocking statement, a violent act of rebellion against a society that Manson believed was on the brink of collapse. The murders were not just random acts of violence, they were calculated, meant to instill fear and chaos. Manson's followers believed they were igniting a revolution, a war against the establishment and the societal norms of the time. The details of that night, as recounted in chilling detail by the perpetrators themselves, are too gruesome to recount in full. The sheer brutality and senselessness of the acts committed are beyond comprehension. Suffice it to say, the victims were subjected to unimaginable horrors. The terror and pain they endured are a stark reminder of the depths of human cruelty. Sharon Tate, 8 months pregnant, pleaded for the life of her unborn child, only to be met with unimaginable cruelty. Her pleas fell on deaf ears, and the violence that ensued was merciless. The walls of the once glamorous home were left splattered with blood, a testament to the depravity of the act and the madness that fueled it. The scene was a grotesque tableau of violence, forever marking the house as a site of one of the most infamous crimes in American history. To understand the Manson family murders, one must delve into the labyrinthine mind of their leader. Charles Manson was not just a criminal, he was a master manipulator who preyed on the vulnerable and the lost. Charles Manson saw himself as a prophet, a harbinger of an apocalyptic race war he called Helter Skelter. He believed he was chosen to lead his followers through the chaos. He believed that a black uprising was imminent and that he and his followers would emerge from the chaos to rule over a new world order. This delusion was meticulously crafted and fed to his followers.
This warped ideology was fueled by a potent cocktail of LSD, amphetamines, and my own deeply ingrained paranoia and sense of persecution. The drugs amplified my delusions, making them feel all the more real. I saw conspiracies everywhere, believing that the Beatles were sending me coded messages through their music and that the world was on the brink of destruction. Every song, every lyric seemed to confirm my darkest fears.
His followers, indoctrinated through a potent mix of drugs, psychological manipulation, and a constant barrage of his twisted teachings, came to share his delusions. They were drawn into his nightmarish vision of the future. These were not hardened criminals or cold-blooded killers, they were ordinary young people, many of them still teenagers, who had been seduced by Manson's charisma and promises of a utopian future. They were young people, many of them still teenagers, who had been seduced by Manson's charisma and promises of belonging. They were searching for meaning and found it in Manson's twisted vision. He offered them an escape from the anxieties of a rapidly changing world, a sense of purpose in a time of social upheaval. In Manson, they found a leader who promised them a place in his new world order. In his twisted worldview, violence was not only justified but necessary, a means to an end, a way to hasten the coming apocalypse and usher in a new era ruled by Charles Manson. His followers, blinded by devotion, were willing to do anything to bring his vision to life.